Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Wake Up Wednesday. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake Up Wednesday on Cloud.Nine on ACT and The Voice. Yo, I remember Stitchy, you talk about Saul and Paul. Yeah. Remember the days when Stitchy was like, Saul, the man, I killed nobody. I just say, but that whole dark past. And then, of course, in his encounter with God, and he's radical for God, radical for Christ, just like Paul was. And that's the interesting thing about when you look at the lives of some of these individuals who are in the limelight now, in terms of popular individuals, and you hear their real life story. And these men, they would have come from a place, and you cannot deny what God has and continues to do in their lives. And we showed that video basically to promote the Ocean Praise event that is taking place this weekend at Clifton Hill Beach. It is Lieutenant Stitchy, DJ Nicholas, I believe we have the flyer there. Stitchy, Nicholas, Jalil, who I had the opportunity to see perform once live right in Trinidad and Tobago at the Tune-Up and Open Bible Church, and Samuel Midas. So these are the headliners of the event. It's Saturday, September 23rd, 2017. That's this Saturday, Clifton Hill Beach Resort. We have some local acts as well, Sean Daniels and a host of others. You do not want to miss it. Be there. It's a free, I don't really like to hear free, but it's a free concert, Ocean Praise. Again, the headliners, Nicholas, Stitchy, Samuel Midas, and Jalil. For more information, you can call 729-7996. That's 729-7996, 761-1494, 761-1494, and 275-9306. And we have a special coming up for you tomorrow, but I will leave it day. I ain't gonna say no more yet. But they ask me too much questions, which I don't plan to answer right now. So anyhow, what's coming up later on in the show? Well, we had the privilege to sit down and have a real face-to-face, true face-to-face with the mayor of Shogunas, His Worship, Mr. Gopal Budan, as he outlined, where the vision of the borough, and the vision is, of course, to move from borough status to city status. We had a real nice talk about where they've been, where they are, and where they plan to be, some of the hurdles, the ups and downs, the plus, the negatives. Really, really good heart-to-heart. And you're going to see that interview coming up in just a short while, right here exclusively on Cloud.Nine on ACT and The Voice. Additionally, after our interview, we went into the streets of Shogunas and met with some of the people to find out what are some of the concerns that they are having in the borough, what are the things that they are seeing that they like, and of course, some of the things that they don't like, which we'll show to you another day. But for today, we're going to show you that interview at 12:30. You don't want to miss it. The mayor really poured his heart out on some of the issues that are affecting the borough, and of course, some of the things that have been a blessing to the borough as well. So look out for that coming up at 12:30 right here on Cloud.Nine. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to touch on Hurricane Maria as she touched down on Puerto Rico and raising havoc as her predecessors have done over the last few weeks. Again, we continue to keep our neighboring Caribbean islands in prayer. This has not been a good season at all for them. Let us lift them up in Jesus' name. We'll be right back.
The devil's the accuser of the brethren. And he hates marriage because marriage is the image of God. He hates marriage because it's the most sacred institution on earth. God created marriage in Genesis chapter 1. It is the first institution he ever created, and it's the foundation for every other institution on earth. And he's a strategist. He understands if he can destroy marriage, he can destroy all of society.
I found out that if our phones are close enough, and if we have a connection on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, come on, I'm about to preach this technology until somebody comes out of hiding. If I got something on my device and you need it on your device, if I can get close enough to your device with my device, what's on my device can jump on your device. If I get close to the one who created me, close to the one who called me, if I stop running and return to the place of my assignment, I got the drop.
So if you want to live behind walls all your life and live an isolated, lonely, miserable life, go ahead. But I suggest that you tear down all your walls and let God be a wall of protection about you. And he says all of your walls will be called peace.
All right, welcome back to Cloud.Nine on ACT. And the boys, it's Wake Up Wednesday, and a lot has been happening around the world to truly wake us up as to what's happening and even more so, why it's happening. Let's go now. What has been extremely fundamental and what you've been hearing on every international network, whether it be radio, television, etc. What you're hearing consistently is that we've never seen anything like this before. You're hearing that right through. Never. This is the worst. We've never, in the last 15, 20 years, never. And I'm saying that because you have the naysayers and everybody who, of course, want to align these occurrences with just natural situations happening in the atmosphere. Yeah, it's linked. But you can deny it from now till kingdom come. And I say that term very guarded. Everything that's happening has been prophesied. And at the end of the day, these things are happening as a warning. It's two W's. As a warning for us to wake up. It's a warning for us to wake up and truly embrace and receive God and all his might and all his power. And we keep denying, and we want to be all arrogant and ignorant about it, and we want to blame God and blame God and blame God, when everything that is happening around us is a result of us and our wicked ways, not because of anything that God did. Remember, when God gave us dominion over the earth, that's what he did. He gave. So all the nonsense that we've been doing, everything that is coming back is because of our actions. No. God could stop it at any moment, snap of a finger. But are we willing to change our ways? Are we willing to repent and surrender all to Christ? No. So what do you think is going to happen? So what we have to do is use this opportunity to really talk to people about what's happening and why they need to turn their lives around, and you will see God turn things around. But nevertheless, warnings. The warnings are for us to wake up and come to God. I want to go to this update quickly about what's happening in Puerto Rico. Before we go to the clip, let me just read this quickly from the CNN Center. Hurricane Maria plummeted Puerto Rico on Wednesday morning, ripping trees out of the ground and hammering 2/3 of the island with hurricane-force winds. This is total devastation, said Carlos Maqueda, spokesman for Puerto Rico's governor. Puerto Rico, in terms of its infrastructure, will not be the same. This is something of historic, just different wording, but same meaning. This is something of historic proportions. Maria has killed 7 people on the Caribbean island nation of Dominica. who already got hit earlier on from Irma, said Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. Brown said he had been communicating with the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Scarrett, whose own house was shredded. Hear the words being used, the descriptive words. The house was shredded by the storm. Maria made landfall in Puerto Rico on Wednesday near the city of Yabucoa with winds of 155 miles per hour. Right? The storm was so fierce it broke 2 National Weather Service radars on the island. So it's now 190 miles per hour. I really admire these journalists out there. He's speaking there, and he's concrete, I think it was garage or something like that. Sean, he's writing. He says it's rocking to and fro, and he's just got to keep those guys near prayer. But the officials are very blunt. They were very blunt in that evacuate or die. It cannot get more clear than that. They ain't sugarcoat or butcher up the words. Evacuate or die. You have 1 or 2 options. Take your pick. So this is what's happening in Puerto Rico at this time. Again, ITNAC, as you know, they are what I would say the official organization for you to get items onto various islands, and one of them I'm sure would be Puerto Rico as well. Now, even though it is known to be part of the American belt, as they say, there are no barriers right now when it comes to helping. So let us send our stuff out to ITNAC, and they, of course, will interact with the agencies in the Caribbean and in the U.S. To see what help can be given to those in need. We also had in Mexico the earthquake, 200 plus and counting the death toll. 2 buildings crashed like paper to dust on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much more I can say it. Please heed the warning. Wake up. Wise up. www.wakeup. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up right here on Cloud.Nine before we go to our special presentation of the interview with the Mayor of Chaguanas, Mr. Gopal Budan.
The devil's the accuser of the brethren. And he hates marriage because marriage is the image of God. He hates marriage because it's the most sacred institution on earth. God created marriage in Genesis chapter 1. It is the first institution he ever created, and it's the foundation for every other institution on earth. And he's a strategist. He understands if he can destroy marriage, he can destroy all of society.
I found out that if our phones are close enough, and if we have a connection on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, come on, I'm about to preach this technology until somebody comes out of hiding. If I got something on my device and you need it on your device, if I can get close enough to your device with my device, what's on my device can jump on your device. If I get close to the one who created me, close to the one who called me, if I stop running and return to the place of my assignment, I got the drop.
So if you want to live behind walls all your life and live an isolated, lonely, miserable life, go ahead. But I suggest that you tear down all your walls and let God be a wall of protection about you. And he says all of your walls will be called peace.
All right, welcome back to Cloud.Nine on ACTN, The Voice. Now, coming up in just a couple of minutes, literally a few minutes, we are going to have that interview with the mayor of Shogunas, and of course, it repeats this evening at 6 p.m. as well. Basically, it really was an intimate interview where, again, he poured his heart out and he addressed some of the critical issues that are facing the Central Borough. It is a borough that has been growing in leaps and bounds. As I mentioned in the interview, it is literally like fertile soil. As you just plant things there, they grow businesses and everything you can think about. But with growth, of course, it can also have congestion. And that is something that they have been grappling with for some time. But the mayor says plans are already on the way, and things have been put in place. Things are going to be put in place to deal with these issues as they continue to grow. So coming up after this next video with one of the other artists who's coming up, that's DJ Nicholas. We're going to go straight to that interview with the mayor of Shogunas, his worship, Mr. Gopal Budan. Good afternoon, Mayor, and thank you, of course, for having us once again. As you know, it's really great to be back home. This is home for many of us. And of course, congratulations to all the work that you have been doing. Really proud of what we've been seeing happening in the Central Borough. Just enlighten the public, however, what these developments have been over the last few years and where is the borough now moving forward.
Thank you very much, Sheldon and Giles, who is here now. Friends of mine in a previous incarnation in the borough of Shogunas, and I would like to sincerely thank you all for all that you would have done to showcase the borough of Shogunas when you were located here at a different media house. And good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and I am very proud and happy to be here with you to share some of what we are doing and continue to do in the borough of Shogunas. Firstly, I would like to say, and one of the comments you made, that you see so many things are happening in the borough. And I would just like to thank at this juncture all the past mayors who would have sacrificed and do so many things in having the template for the development of Shogunas, and they have served with distinction, and this is what I'm grateful for. And here I am serving my second term as mayor of Shogunas, coming out from a councillor for a district.
Remember those days?
And then deputy mayor, and now as the mayor of Shogunas. And one of the things that I have changed in terms of what mayor does in terms of in Trinidad and Tobago, usually when I go to functions, people say the first citizen of Shogunas, which is the truth, that is the truth. But I have changed that whole concept to be the first servant of Shogunas. And this is where my leadership and the mayorship of Shogunas as a servant to the people. I keep saying that the people, I serve at the opportunity of the people. I am the first servant, and the people, they are my bosses. They could hire me and they could fire me.
I always say that to be a good leader, you have to know how to serve, so that's very true.
Right? So we, when I came in end of 2013, in early 2014, we had 4 pillars of development of Shogunas: safety, security, and education, the youth development as one pillar, beautification and the environment, technology, and of course, business development and wealth creation. And I'll start with the last pillar first. Shogunas has always been and continue to be family-oriented type businesses, small businesses, and they developed to what we have here today. So it has been a tongue that has developed between with a lot of retail business. Now it has expanded into the outskirts, light manufacturing. There are just a few heavy manufacturing in the outskirts of Shogunas, but it has always been an entrepreneurial type of establishment where you have people, selling so many things, having the best bargain. Beautification in the environment, we have been a sugarcane. It started as a sugarcane area, and we had to be, involved or trying to implement that beautification in the environment because a lot of people play less emphasis to the environment, and then when we look at it globally, in so much global warming and so many things happening globally, that has been one of the pillars that we developed Shawanas in terms of the trees, beautification or something, because you cannot develop a community, you have business, you have wealth or something, and you pay less interest in terms of the environment. Then we have safety and security is a fundamental pillar. Safety and security, youth development, and of course technology in terms of keeping abreast in terms of how the world is going. In the area of safety and security, in February this year, Shawanas became the first city, and I'm saying city, the first city
prophesy.
Yes, to join the global Strong City Network, a network of 162 cities throughout the world at this point in time I'm speaking. Shawanas became the 100th member of the Strong City Network, and in 2015 it was a United Nations resolution to have strong cities throughout the world. And what is strong cities? Strong cities is cities that come together to combat and fight against violence, against extremism, against all those effects that they will have in terms of making a city very challenging as it creates the crime and crime prevention, and in working with young people. And we joined that network. It is based in London. We joined that network, and they continue to share a lot of information. If to just one moment to reflect, we started to work with the Civil Affairs team of the United States of America Embassy in Trinidad, Civil Affairs team, and we focused in the borough of Shawanas, the enterprise area that we had so many challenges within the 6 months to 8 months or so. And so far, the situation is not where we want it to be, but there are a lot of calm and a lot of peace as we return to the area. And this is some of the information and some of the policies that we get from the Strong City Network. We work with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and all the other stakeholders and service groups, organizations who have the people in mind, who want to work with people for people to be better also and give them opportunities. And at this point in time, we are working in terms of that as it relates to crime also.
Let me just ask, as we're on this point about crime, with development, there's something called growing pains. And of that, of course, you have more people coming into the, let's say city. And, with that, you have to deal with crime, as you said. You have, traffic continues to be a bit of a challenge. And, all of this heading into city status. What have been people saying on the ground? You mentioned things are improving in enterprise. But can you just break it down for me? Like, what are some of the day-to-day initiatives that are being taken place by the police service to help bring some sort of calm back in the enterprise area? Many are saying because of migration coming in here, that's causing it. So how have you been able to deal and grapple with that situation?
Well, this is my own analysis of the situation in enterprise, my own analysis of the situation. I live on the boundary of enterprise. That is my home. I have a lot of friends, relatives, a lot of people in that community who I know I interact with. And I think that problem in enterprise, it was a whole series of activities that brought it there. And very briefly, I could share. I think the people of enterprise saw that the entire borough of Shawanas and different communities were growing, and they felt a little stagnated. They felt that they were orphaned or they get kept back. And in a way for them to express their disenchantment, if they use that word, is that you started to have crimes, you have started to have a lot of other social issues related to it. And teams like the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and I want to, a lot of times people will beat up on the police service. I want to compliment. They put the community policing team, and they went walk house to house.
In enterprise.
To find out from the people how it's going, what information, what information they need, what the information the police could share, a kind of interaction, and that started to work very well. Then you had a lot of community groups in enterprise, the Enterprise Community Council, you have the DASTRIS. So those groups came forward. They were there, some were there, but they were not so much active in terms of, because of the situation. Everybody started coming forward. Then, together with the police service, the Shogunas Borough, the civil affairs team of the American Embassy, they started to do work in sports, in education, in youth development, and then in all the recreation grounds. You had 5 recreation grounds in that enterprise community. You started to see football, you started to see cricket, basketball. We had jogging tracks in that area. So the community started to gravitate around those sporting initiatives, and they started coming on. In Shogunas, a year and a half ago, from the office of the mayor, we set up a Shogunas interreligious organizations. And we brought the interreligious persons to come out, let the community see that all of us are in this thing together. And that has worked wonders. I am telling you, it has worked wonders. I presented a paper on the working of the Shogunas interreligious organization. I went to the global conference on the Strong City Network in Denmark, and I presented a paper to show how all the religious leaders could work together. They coming together for the betterment of the community, and they were amazed to see Hindus, Muslims, Christians, everybody together in that brotherhood and that friendship coming together to work for the betterment of our community, which is the betterment of people, right? And this continued to work good. So that all the initiatives I see in enterprise is bearing fruit in terms of what is happening. Results are being generated, and we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop. We are going to continue to embrace enterprise. One of the things I'm saying, and one of my personal peeves that I have, is that poverty, no part of Trinidad and Tobago, far less the borough of Shogunas, there should be areas that people are suffering in terms of poverty. And my vision, every day in my heart, is to make sure that where the earth is scorched, and you will know that better than I do, Sheldon, that it's going to be bountiful. And I am working with all organizations, all individuals, all stakeholders, everybody. You say what it is, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday night, Monday, every single day. I am working to make sure that the people are happy. Because I have a motto here, Shogunas of a happy people and a happy community. And I will do everything in all areas of national life and national development to make Shogunas are happy, with a happy community and a happy people.
Now, I'm glad to see the hands-on approach, and it's something I know that you're very familiar with, always in the area, meeting with the people. And you mentioned that the police is in the area, engaging them in terms of what they need. Because as you mentioned, it seems as though the social safety net, they feel as if they've fallen through. So what are some of the individual programs that, number one, that you have implemented or you would like to in some of these areas that they, where they're feeling a bit left out? What are some of the ideas you have in place?
One of the areas, we did mentorship program. They had summer camps. They did the graduation at our town hall here. They did their graduation. We took it at a different level, not have a summer camp and just give them a speech. We brought them here. They came well dressed or so, and we showed them that from your community, there's always something better
that you can look up and aspire to.
And it was done well, and in that summer camp, what I do is that in my own way, we have like a book drive with stationaries that we go into the community. One of the initiatives that I instituted earlier this year in January, because I find for Christmas, all businesses and everybody in the goodwill of the season, right, and the happiness in their heart, they will go and have treat with different schools or so. And what happened in January, February, March, April, May, until the next Christmas? Right. And I said, no, something is wrong. And what I do, I pull a team together, and I went to the business community, and even resources of my own, because I am so passionate about this. And I took schools in a priority order. May I say that? I say it guardedly. Like the schools that I think are the most challenging. Okay. And I went and I did a treat. The only thing that treat didn't have was toys. And I went January, I went February, I went March, I went April to different schools, preschools, primary schools, and do that treat. Let these kids know that there are people who care about them. They don't care about them only for Christmas time, and they give them everything. And when the first week in January, and you don't have sufficient, that you have a problem. No. And one of the things, Sheldon, that I do, and I pride myself in it, is that I visit, you see, Young People's Project. We have over 118 projects with young people in all areas. I'm telling you, in every single area. And what I pride myself in is that I go to the 22 primary schools in this borough, the 6 secondary schools, other tertiary education institute. That is, for me personally, that is a stress breaker. That if I am, pressured here in terms of doing things or trying to get too many things done, I just go to school unannounced. I talk with the children, help them, have a discussion with them, and I feel that is one of my stress relief. Other people may have different areas that they, but I feel, interacting with them, they asking me questions, I asking them questions, and that excites me a lot. So there are several initiatives.
It's about mentoring. It's about mentoring.
And what we do is that we have homework centers in a particular area, homework centers. One area that we haven't fully developed it yet, we want to do that, a sort of business type project in that. We want to do business incubator for those in enterprise who are willing to be small business, and we have technical people already set up to let them know that how to manage their monies or something. So we're trying to help them in terms of wealth creation, but not only to work for somebody, but to also to elevate themselves and have this small business in the area. So we have education, we have sports, we have culture, we have in terms of business in the particular area, and some of the social issues is being driven by the Shawanas Interreligious Organization. So at this point in time, I'm not happy that where we are there as yet, but I'm satisfied that I'm seeing results in enterprise, and I am very much certain that this entire borough, would continue to live as one family.
What's that extra push you think that is needed for you to be very happy with the situation? What is not happening? Hear what's happening. What do you think? What more would you like to see?
I think that so many people want to come into the borough of Shawanas. You have professionals, most importantly businesses, right? And I think that I want to see a greater effort in terms of corporate social responsibility of business in the borough. Not necessarily, I have no problem if they do have interaction with the office of the mayor. I have no problem with that. But what you could do is that adopt certain projects in the borough, young people development, adopt certain communities, and do it.
Don't just use and abuse and move on.
No, yes, just do it. Just do it. Put monies in the community. Because, when you look at it, the same monies that you would put in the community to make the people happy, those are the same people who will support your business, right? So when you put monies in there, it's just giving them tokenism or you're giving them handout. But what you're doing, you technically securing your own investment and your own interest in the borough of Shaw. So I do have a peeve about that, in that I feel much more could be done in terms of the businesses contributing and giving back to the community. Most of the calls that I would have made for people to come on board and assist, the response has been tremendous. People, would accede to my request and go into the communities to help. I have very good working relationship with the Lions, the Rotaries, all the other service organizations, NGOs, faith-based organizations. You see, how I manage this borough of Shawanas here, what I did is that when I came as mayor, I formed an interagency team, which includes the police, the Ministry of Police, the Fire Service, Immigration, Licensing Authority, and we meet once every month together with the councillors. Then, while in that team, we get the pulse, a daily pulse of what's happening in the borough. So you have crime, we know what it is, what support we could give from here. You have something that is happening in terms of fire, and we find that an area need to be further secured. We have a closer interaction. And then I brought the religious leaders, because there are social issues, there are family issues in communities, and we brought the religious leaders to work with this team too, and it started to work good. All the service organizers, Lions Rotary, in terms of people want additional support, wheelchairs, walkers, also. So the social aspect of it, the deeper social aspect, that's it. And most importantly for me, the Shawanas Chamber, and then I assisted and worked with all the different groups to form smaller business groups. So you have the Felicity area and Charlieville area of a business group, you have the Kunupia business chamber, you have the downtown Shawanas merchants, you have the Montrose business organization. So it makes it very easy. So if in a particular area that you have some social issues, you have crime or a lot of robberies, or you have traffic congestion, quickly on the pulse, I get that. So the pulse is there in all these groups, which make it very easy to manage. Everybody know what the other person is doing, and this is the only way that we could develop Shogunas.
Let me just, I want to stay with, as we moved, into the whole aspect of business and investment, Central is like fertile soil. And when you come into the Central area and you plant good seed in Central soil, your business grow and you see things happening. But the challenge with that too is that if it starts to grow too wild, therefore there's the challenge of managing the field. And I'm saying that because you have so many businesses here now, so many businesses, but the area, of course, is within the same area. And I know we spoke before about building codes, and some people putting up businesses and not adhering to the building codes, and then you have now the congestion of traffic. Now, as we move into city status, which I know you want to discuss as well, how are you going to deal with that? Because again, it's building, it's growing, but then people are not adhering to certain things, and then of course the road network, that also has to be looked at. And that has been a challenge for Shogunas because it's growing so rapidly financially, but then you have the constriction of the mapping of the area. How are you all addressing? Because I know that's a long-term thing, I know that, but how are you all addressing this moving into city status?
I would agree with you, and a very good question that you asked. How Shogunas developed, it was one main road, and business just started developing on both sides of the road. The building codes are there, The enforcement of the building code is where the challenge is. I could go on and explain that to you, but in our long-term operation, that what we want to see, yes, we will serve notice, some would adhere to the notice, then we will have to take matters in the court in terms of that. And that is a long-term process in terms of getting that done. In our administrative complex, where we are here right now, I have identified 5 offices. I have written to the Minister of Planning to have a department in Shogunas for Central Trinidad of Town and Country Planning Department, and a one-stop shop, so that you could get your plans, you could get your completion certificates, your subdivisions or so, all your public health issues in one particular area. So I think that will help. Should we have the Town and Country Planning Department come here, that will help. But in the immediate terms, is that people who are building buildings here, they would come to the corporation with their plans or so. But the ones in the illegal structure, we serve them notices to have them to demolish some of those structures that they are doing. But there are several, I could tell you, that there are several, I'm not sweeping this under the carpet, there are several buildings that, persons just went, and just do what they want, which is wrong. And we are addressing it as best as we can here at the corporation. But the development of Shogunas, it continues, as I say, fertile soil, and the term that you use, that everything that you have will grow, and this continues to grow, because based on what I said earlier, that we try to keep the crime at a manageable level, because our thing here is zero tolerance against crime. But yes, there are still some areas that crime, we try to have it managed properly. The education, schools are doing exceptionally well here, so people will come down here to have their children in school. So in terms of that is to add additional incentive for people to come to Shogunas. Then a lot of homes, there are a lot of buildings that homes are being constructed in the borough of Shogunas. People come to live here. Then companies, national companies are setting up in Shogunas, so jobs are available. Those who live outside of Shogunas, this is community in Shogunas. Then the different malls. So we have a saying here that Shogunas is a place to live, a place to worship, a place to recreate, to shop, to do business. So this is why so many people, and then our geography, that we are located between
centralized location,
between north and south. So on average, we have like 125 to 150,000 persons pass in and out of Shogunas.
And that's outside of the season, those peak seasons of Christmas and Easter and so forth, Diwali, etc.
So they pass in and out of Shogunas. So Shogunas, there's always something for sure. But development and progress have its hazards and it have its responsibilities. Now, traffic has been a major concern.
Ever since.
Two weeks ago, we had a meeting with the traffic management and the Highways Division, Ministry of Works. Certain streets were identified to make one way. We we also spoke about the reintroduction of the wrecking service in the town center in Shogunas because there's a high level of indiscipline. You park one side of the street, you want to park the opposite side, you make the street a virtually a one-way. That cannot be tolerated. Those indisciplines cannot be tolerated. So in traffic management, we looked some of the areas. Last night we had a consultation, a town meeting on zero tolerance to crime. The issue of traffic came up. All the seniors, the deputy commissioner, the assistant commissioner, senior superintendent, all the seniors who were here, they pledged to work closer with the borough of Shogunas. So from today, you will see much more patrols, you will see police present, a high visibility of police in the areas, and we anticipate that will continue, as it relates to traffic management.
Well, it's a suggestion, and it's also, I've heard various comments being made about how, you can look at the traffic plan, and that when you enter into Shogunas, of course, that you can say four-way intersection there, which takes you onto the highway. If you have to come in to get there, say by the bus, when the bus comes there, under the flyover, there have been discussions I know of creating some roundabouts in the central area. I'm just suggesting, is that something that can be discussed, that particular intersection there of having like a roundabout, or would that be too much of a heavy undertaking?
Well, I saw some plans, and plans has always been there. For the last 15 years or so, there has always been different plans there. There's some simple solutions, as well as there are some solutions that will need greater intervention. And the whole structure in terms of the in and out of Shogunas is like what you have at the Presal flyover. Right. But we don't have all that land space
to work with.
But what is happening is that there are some new initiatives that will come in that particular, around the Price Mart area. There will be some new initiatives in that area, some additional roundabouts. So,
which has helped by Price Mart.
Right, but a new one is going to be constructed now close to the Diwali Nagar. So if you're going on to south, you don't have to come back to Price Plaza and connect on the highway. You can connect from across there. I had proposed where Republic Bank has their operations center. So you're coming from south and you want to come into Shogunas with direct TVs. You make the left there, you do a lay-by, you make the left there, and you come into Shogunas, so you don't have to go all around. Right? All right. Some roads, all by Medford and the flyover, so we are going to make that into a small roundabout, and also to be going to change the traffic there. So all that we are doing in terms of this plan is just moving.
I think you mentioned that you're going to reopen the
no, we were looking at the reopening ramp, but if we do this, the ramp would not be because it will create more congestion. So everything is just in movements of the traffic. Just keep moving the traffic all around. In the town center, we had proposed, and there was a plan that to do a transit hub. So you have buses, you have maxis, you have taxis. Everybody's structured in one place, and you free the town center in terms of the traffic. Yes, that is work in progress. But in the interim, we will have like police. What we have of the traffic warden department now it has downsized a lot, and I'm very much worried about that. I think the traffic warden should be strengthened, and let be a department under the Shogunas Police or our municipal police under still control under the Ministry of Works. So you have better control with the wardens and what areas you could put them to help them manage the traffic. So I think a greater management of the traffic, more police presence, and a greater on-the-ground approach in terms of the traffic. Now, in the same breath, I'm saying, yes, we have traffic, but I want people to come in Shogunas. I want people to come by, the prosperity of Shogunas to continue. And we are going to do everything that is possible within the law to make sure that we manage that traffic. And we have it. We are also looking at some different areas where we could have like car park just on the outskirts of Shogunas. But we have a culture is that people, if they go in a store, they want to park on the road or they want to park
very true.
Right? So we're trying to see if we could shift the minds of persons with that culture so that they can know to park. We have already spoken to some of those maxi operators around the town operations, so when you park, you could just hop a ride right around the town. So those are some of the areas in work in progress, but at this present point in time, we're looking at the management of the traffic with a greater law enforcement presence, because the majority of what you're seeing is indiscipline in terms of what it is happening.
Parking and
Total
all that,
indiscipline. If you could help to correct that indiscipline area, you'll see a greater flow of traffic. It may be very easy to come in and out of Shogunas.
Well, I want to thank you very much for your time, and I'm really grateful that the people of Shogunas are willing to be engaged. I know you had town meetings recently, and from what I understand, people have been coming and expressing and showing their concern, and of course willing to meet with them. So I'll give you that this time. Any closing remarks here about the time for the people?
We have the draft proposal for the transformation of Shogunas from borough to city. We have this transformation. I have spoken to the Ministry of Local Government, the Honorable Minister. This has been work in progress since 2010.
How soon you will actually be able to officially, we've been talking about this for years, so officially, what are we looking at tentatively? You're not sure yet?
Well, we presently, well, not presently, but we don't have the call-in. There's a process. It goes to the cabinet, then it goes to the parliament with the Shogunas City Act. It goes to the parliament, and then they do a pronouncement on it that it is passed in the parliament, and then it goes to the president to confirm that Shogunas is now a city. That is work in progress. I am very optimistic that we are going to get Shogunas as a city. Because when I look at the population, Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, Shogunas is way past those cities. And Shogunas need to be a city. We have all the criteria in terms of financial institutions, religious organizations, businesses, population. On the 18th, 18th of September, the tenders will close for the start of a modern Shogunas hospital, not too far from our borough corporation here on the connector road, not too far from here. So I in great anticipation. I'm praying a lot that when those contracts, those tenders are closed and they're doing the shortlisting, they will identify a contractor so that we could get work started. The land's already allocated, work started for a modern Shogunas hospital.
Amen.
I think we need that. But there are so many other futuristic plans. One that I am doing right now is in front of our administrative complex. We have the Shogunas Heritage Building. And I think any society or any country could not survive until you don't know who are your heroes, or you celebrate the persons who would have helped to build and contribute to the building of your community. And that building will store the history of all those persons, individual organizations who would have contributed over the years and still contribute today to build Shogunas, the Shogunas that we know now and what we propose into the future. But everything, and the final comments is that everything that we do, all the organizations we work with, all the people, we are doing that for the next generation. So we are taking Shogunas to the next level. And this is what I am extremely happy. Every day that I in this office is like work of worship. Everything. So I'm extremely happy in my heart every day that I come here. Every day, Saturday, Sunday, every day. Because this is like worship. This is like praying. That the work that I do in Shogunas, this is my own personal mantra. That this is what I do every single day to make sure that people are happy. Community is happy.
Of course, we hope to be on that journey with you. Thank you very much for your time as always. And of course, call us anytime.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.